Hello Internet, Magic Man here from MMOBomb.com, bringing you another first look video. This time it's for the almost free-to-play MMORPG Tera. This will be free-to-play on February 5th, so if you're watching before the 5th, you got a couple of days. I just wanted to get the first look out to you ASAP now that we had a date. Now, I'll be playing on the North American servers. The game is developed by Bluehole Studios and in North America published by NMOS. So, we're going to spend 15-20 minutes, whatever, don't hold me to the number, taking a look at the game, talking about the free-to-play transition and some of the things you do and do not get as a free player. I'm not going to show you any Island of Dawn footage. There's enough of that in-game. It's referred to as Noob Island. You can YouTube that, and everybody that does a first look is pretty much going to show you that same island. We're going to skip that. I am going to show you a little bit of character creation here, and then we'll jump back onto another one of my characters. When the game goes free to play on February 5th, you have a few different options, or tiers, if you will, and we'll talk about those shortly. To create a character, you're going to have your choice of 7 races: the human, Castanak, or Castanic, however you prefer, Amon, Papori, Elin, Baraka, and High Elf. You do get a little description about each race at the bottom there. Of course, the Elin are the running joke for Tera, and global chat will be filled with nothing but Elin jokes and movie titles with Elin thrown in there, and accuse you of various illegal activities should you find the Elin somewhat attractive because they look like children. On those 7 races, you get to pick a class, and there's no gender locking. You can be male or female, it doesn't matter. Now, each class does give you a little bit of a skill required, and you probably want to do a little bit of research into the classes before you roll, specifically if you're into tanking or healing, because it works a little bit differently in Tera, and a warrior, although a tank in most games, a warrior isn't necessarily a tank in Tera. You can be an effective warrior tank, but you're more of an evasion tank, so you better be good at the dodging and things like that. So take a look at the player skill required on the 5-star scale, and do a little research before you roll something. So, typical warrior, lancer, slayer, berserker, sorcerer, archer, priest, and mystic. And they give you a little lovely detail there. So we're just going to go with the mystic since we're not going to be saving this character. And you have quite a bit of customization you're going to see here. You do have some presets where you can just pick from a flat line of pre-built characters and roll with them, or you can individually go in and pick faces, match up your colors, do your hair, what you're wearing, your makeup, your tattoos. You can fine-tune each of those details with sliders that actually do things. Yipes. That's awesome. For both, everything, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, all that jazz. You do get to take a little preview of your character in various sets of gear. Let's zoom out. And then, of course, pick a voice. So there's quite a bit of customization. As soon as you start, we're going to go back now. As soon as you start and you create that character, you're immediately going to be thrown into what I think is a pretty cool tutorial to your individual class. You're instantly going to be level 20. And you will be guided through this little beach scene with a couple of quests to get you familiar with the controls, familiar with the action combat, and the dodging mechanics. And you'll also get some of the corresponding abilities that your class will have at level 20. I think it's a great little tutorial because so often you find yourself rolling that character only to level them up a little bit and find out it doesn't play the way you thought it did. This gives you a little bit of a snapshot of what the character is going to be like at a slightly higher level with some new abilities, not just basic starting stuff. At the end of that tutorial, boom, you're level 1 again, you're flown out to the Island of Dawn, or Noob Island, and away you go. So I'm going to run around and do some questing here while we chat. You'll see that the user interface is pretty standard. HP and MP at the top. Will explain stamina in a little bit. That's the red heart that you see in the upper left below my health and MP bars. My hot bars are at the bottom. I have my quest log over on the right, and the chat panel has a multi-paneled system. This is for Chef Madness. I'm going to do this one for you. Your free-to-play players, you will have restrictions on chat, in the North America version at least, when you first start playing the game. They are not restricted because you are a free-to-play player. They are only restricted by level. They want to make sure you're going to level up a little bit. So you'll have to get to level 5 before you can use area chat, which would be this zone. You'll have to get to level 12 before you can use looking for group or trade. And then you'll have to get to level 20 before you can use the global chat. Global goes across the entire server. Then you have all the corresponding tabs. You can shut any chat off that you want, and you'll probably end up, if you're like me, shutting off global chat after a little while. One can only take so many WoW was the first MMO chats before it's just too much. However, when I'm just walking around questing, I usually leave global on just for the sheer amusement factor. Nothing else. So it's a pretty standard interface, mini-map in the upper right. You can put a little overlay mini-map on. It's just a personal preference. I don't like it, and so I leave it off. No biggie. You can put that on and have it right on the middle of the screen if you're so inclined to do so. And yes, the game can be played with a controller. However, it's going to require, for most classes, a little bit of creative mapping for you guys. As you can see, you have to be, just like most other action-oriented type games, you have to be aiming at or in the vicinity of the mob or character that you're fighting to get skills to land. That's the whole point of the action-based combat. And you're seeing right now that you don't have to memorize each and every thing and have 17 hotbars open. If you have the necessary skills, the game does rely on skill chaining, and it will show you what skill is next in the chain. So if I use 3, which is a poison type shot, it immediately pops up and says Radiant Arrow. If I hit spacebar, I can use it. The next part of that chain will then pop up, and I can continue using spacebar, or I could play traditional hotbar combat if I want to. So it's pretty unique. I like it. As far as action goes, I was streaming today, and somebody did bring up that it's a little slow for them, and I can see where they're coming from. It doesn't feel slow to me, because I'm comparing it to your typical tab target type game. But I can see, because it is so heavily skill-based, and one skill chains to the next, I could see where somebody might think it's slow as opposed to like a fighter game where it's truly action combat. So right now, it's pretty easy to see my quest marks. I've got my little exclamation points above them. Oops, I did not mean to trigger that ability. Do a little fast strike there, and we got to kill 20 hyenas. As far as questing goes, expect your standard MMO fare. As far as all that goes, it's kill 10 of these, kill 5 of these, gather a bunch of these, escort this. There are some independent, individual, instance-based quests where you'll teleport to an area and you'll be the only one in there doing the quest, and then you're ported back out. But for the most part, it's very, very standard questing. Don't be surprised by anything there. If you're not into quest grinds, then you better really like the PvP in Tera, or maybe it's just not the game for you. I don't mind a good quest grind. I hate mob grinds, so I'm okay with it. Visually, obviously, you can see it's a pretty impressive game. Some people are going to have problems CPU-wise and GPU-wise with the game. It's not going to run on all machines at a stellar frame rate, things like that. So, what happens on February 5th? Well, the Tera Rising content patch drops, and the game officially goes free to play. The chat restrictions I mentioned before go into effect. Currently, there's one PvP server, one PvE server, and one role-playing server. They are adding 2 more servers, one for PvP and one for PvE-minded players. And character transfers, if you're on one of the 3 existing servers now, will be free for the first 30 days in case your buddies roll on the new servers and you want to go and join them. So no issues there. Seems like NMOS is really trying to set up the conversion. Oh boy. as good as they can, and accommodating just about everything that you would want as a player. So kudos to them. In my estimation, it's a very, very good conversion. We've seen worse. We've certainly seen worse. There is a cash shop. Obviously, with the free-to-play conversion, the cash shop does take on a little bit more importance because it becomes the primary revenue stream for the game. Currently, you have mounts, you have cosmetic costumes, you have your passes for server transfers, name changes, all those goodies that you would maybe want to change later on down the road. You can buy those from the cash shop as well. So nothing crippling or pay to win about it. Now, there are a couple different tiers I had mentioned for members. You have your free-to-play tier. Nothing is restricted to you, except you only have 2 character slots, and you have a minimum amount of bank slots. Other than that, all the content currently in the game when the Tera Rising patch drops will be... I keep doing that. Will be available to you as a free-to-play player with no restrictions on it. Now, there is something called Founder Status. Don't get it confused with a Founder's Pack, which we see a lot of free-to-play games offering, particularly before the games even come out. All you need to do to get Founder's Status is have purchased the software at one point. Whether it was a box or a digital copy, doesn't matter. If you're like me, and you purchased the game when it came out, I played in beta and subbed for a month or two, you are immediately a founder because you have purchased that software. So register a key on your account, you're a founder. What does founder get you? The advantage of being a founder over being a free-to-play player is that you get 8 character slots instead of 2, and you will have, I think it's 288 bank slots available to you, plus you get a founder's title and a mount as well. What's cool about that is I think it's actually a pretty neat way to get boxes off of shelves. We've seen, when games go free-to-play, that unfortunately stores are left with these boxes of software that nobody wants to buy because the game's freaking free-to-play now. So I think it's kind of an ingenious way to get those boxes off the shelf and maybe make a couple of extra bucks in the process. Once you're a founder, you never go back. Now, the software is $19.99 if you do a digital download directly from Tera's website. I've seen boxed brand new copies on different auction sites and things like that for as little as $9.99 for as much as $40. If you're going to do it that route because you're like me and you want a box, you better do it soon because obviously as demand goes up and supply goes down, those prices are going to go up. So right now we are searching these bodies here, and I gotta go back to them. I love being able to do this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Mounted mid-stride. Sounds kinky. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about game oh, I'm sorry, I didn't finish going through the tiers. See, I got so wrapped up in questing. Yeah, so that's your 2 basic tiers, your free-to-play and your founders. They are going to still carry a subscription option for anybody that wants to use it. Now, if you're a free-to-play player and you download the software for free and that's it, you can still sub and become what they call elite. If you're a founder, you can still sub, and you bought the box, you can still sub and become what they call elite. What does elite get you? Well, elite gets you some bonus things that free-to-play players don't get, or founders that don't pay a sub don't get. They're not getting access to any content that you don't get, but they do have a decreased dungeon cooldown timer. They get a little extra bonus. Instead of just 1 reward for running an instance or a dungeon, they get 2. And they do get some daily consumables that will up their XP gain, their gold gain, things like that. So it's not that they have access to things free-to-players don't have. They're just given a little bit of extra, obviously, because they opted to pay for the subscription. So I kind of like the model. I am concerned what that steady influx of increased gold is going to do to the economy, particularly because there are some crafting changes coming up in the game soon. So it'll be interesting to watch what that increased gold for the subscription-based players does to the economy. So keep your eye on that one. And at any time, if you're a founder and you subscribe and you decide you don't want to subscribe anymore, you'll be dropped back to founder status. So you never lose that founder status. You'll always have your 8 slots for characters and all that good stuff. Where the hell am I going? Destroy the Reapmaster 2000 East. So if I don't know, I can bring up the quest, give a little clicky, and it'll mark it on my map for me. So it's just off to my left here. Is that him up there? Yep. Okay, so we're going to fight our way up there. PvP and PvE as far as instances. Tera Rising is adding a new instance, the Crucible of Flame, which is a multi-level dungeon. And they're also adding 3 versus 3 PvP. So a couple new additions, nothing that brand new players are going to be taking advantage of right off the bat. But you'll have some stuff to look forward to that's brand new to the Tera world as of February 5th as well. Boom. Got him. And I gotta come back to the farm. Pretty wide variety of zones, too. I've seen them go from, like, lush areas of farmland like this to really, really dark, fantasy-looking type desert or type jungles, and then to deserts as well. So there's quite a visual variety as you go.
Can I help you?
Yes, you can help me. Alright, so let's take a look real quick. Oh, what the? Really? I don't know. See, I didn't even dodge here. Get rid of him. So let's take a quick look at some of the menus and things. Bags. Obviously, you can use in-game gold to purchase more and more slots. Your bag won't be this big when you first start out. But it's all purchased with in-game gold. Your character sheet has your equipment. If your weapon or your armor has slots for crystals, you can go ahead and put them in here. Mine look like they all done be broked because I was having a rough time with a big-ass monster quest or a badass monster quest. So I do have to replace those. Good thing I opened this up. And then you get a little gear score here, which is going to be used when you try to queue for dungeons. Of course, you can have your costumes, and then it has all of your stats, your dungeon and PvP stats. I don't know why my dungeon history is coming up blank. I've run plenty of them. Okay, sorry about that. So your quest log, no big deal. This is your inventory, your map, your activities menu. This is where you're going to do your crafting or extracting. Extracting is taking an item and deciding. I'm an archer, so I usually go for leather items. This doesn't help me, and so I will attempt to extract that item and get some leather off of it. And of course, failed. Come on, extract these gloves, baby. Do it. Perfect. So now I've got some of this certain type of leather. And as the gear goes up, the items you can extract get better. If I wanted to take that same item and do a cloth, alchemy, or metal extraction, I could. Most of the time I tend to do leathers just because I'm an archer, and that's what I be wearing. And then crafting I haven't leveled at all yet. I just maxed out my extracting and have been saving the mats, and I'll power level my crafting later. Alright, what else do we got in here? You got this thing called Vanarchs. What's a Vanarch? Well, there's a political system in Tera where guilds do receive feedback based on other players. So if people like your guild, they're going to give it positive feedback, and you can actually run for Vanarch of certain areas. You win as a guild. If you do win, I should log onto my other character and show you. I don't know if we'll have time for that. But my warrior, who's about level 33, 34, is in a guild that we've won the elections before for a zone, and you get a pretty nice mount for it. But what does Van Ark do? Well, the guild leader of that guild gets to open and close certain shops, adjust tax rates and things like that to benefit their guild, and then the guild gets a bunch of perks as well. So there is some influence, but your guild better be, one, big enough that it's worth voting into power, and two, it better have good feedback. If it's that troll guild, you're going to have a hard time winning the Van Ark elections. Everything else is exactly like you would expect. You've got your PvE queuing system where you can queue for instances. Right now I have 2 instances that are lower level than me, and none that I can currently run that are level appropriate, so you get none in here. And then you can queue for PvP as well, so no problems there. Battlegrounds queuing right there. Queue times right now are a little slow. However, with the free-to-play conversion, I expect that that's going to change dramatically. But for right now, it's usually the dungeon queue will tell me 5.5 minutes, and I end up waiting 40. So free-to-play players, when you guys get in here, great. We'll have some more people to queue with. Last thing, I want to take you. Where can I? I'm trying to remember where one might be. Okay, we're going to use a safe haven scroll here and go back to Chapika. Ugh. I do a lot of mailing between my characters, so yay goodies. Use one character to fund the other one. Instances are pretty typical. You have your as far as being Trinity-based, tank, healer, a couple of DPSs, the game is dependent on that as far as the PvE goes and the raiding goes. Okay, I know I just killed some. Where are they? Yeah, they're this way. Okay, I'm going to take you and show you big-ass monsters, or BAMs as they're referred to in the game. They are pretty much big, powerful monsters. Yeah, I know. Incredibly unique title and descriptive title. Can you solo them? Yes. Most classes, not all, but most classes can solo certain types of BAMs. You'll have trouble with a certain type, and you'll do well against another one. But you do have to pay attention. It's not easy mode, and it's going to be a long fight. I've seen archer fights with certain low-level BAMs go anywhere from 3 minutes to 8 minutes. So it is something that if you want to solo, it's very challenging. You're going to die a few times just getting the tells on some of their moves, and then you may be able to solo it. Usually what you do, you group up, and you'll... Oh, that was a timed quest. I'll be damned. I'll be going back to do that one. Usually what you do is you'll get a quest for them, and so you'll just group up with some people in the area. And again, that's another place where the free-to-play players adding in are going to help. You'll see in the upper right that there's different channels on each server. So if you're on channel 2 or whatever, and there doesn't seem to be much going on, or maybe your targets are gone, somebody's farming the hell out of them, pop channels, finish your quest, come on back, or just stay in that channel if you want. Yes, there's some right up here. You can see them now. They're very strong. Think of them in basic terms as elite, I guess. And they're usually pretty big and detailed. I love the monster designs, the monster models in this game. No, I didn't. So this is one example of a BAM that I had to kill for a quest not too long ago. Now I'm 5 levels above him. He'll still rock me. I mean, we'll have some fun and do whatever, but you're gonna see what happens when I die. 99%. See? We're not moving. We're at 98%. That was a hell of a critical strike there. Get out of there! Oh, man, was I lucky. So we've been fighting for, what, 20 seconds now, and we're only now at 94%. So what I tend to try to do is stack up poison arrows Up to 3 stacks here for my abilities. Back, back, ah. And let the poison do the work and throw my pot shots in when I can. Get a little stun action going in there. Keep them poisoned. Oh yeah. That's it, Magic Man. Get a little stun back. Oh, didn't stun. Ooh, yeah. Get a little dodge action going. Somebody wants to join. He probably needs the quest, so that's fine. We'll speed this up a little bit and let them in. It will, if you've never played Raiders or any other action-based title like this, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to for you with getting in and out of this targeting mode so that you can do other things. Just hit escape and you'll jump to your arrow mode and you'll be able to click on things as well. Alright, so now we got somebody to hold a little bit of aggro here. So I'm going to start unleashing. Unleash too much. And yes, you can channel abilities while moving. That's the whole point of Action Combat. No, sorry. You will not be swiping Magic Man today. Archers have a cool ability, too, where you can see that if I use my regular attack by holding down my left mouse, you can see that my MP regens up at the top. So see, my abilities right now are costing me MP, and using my regular attack regens that MP. He grabbed ads. Alright, so let's see if we can't help out there. Get out of there. Get him out of there. Perfect. Vicious is not having such a good day. He's kind of getting hurt. I think somebody else is now attacking just for the sheer fun of it. Did I pull those? Yes, I did. Gotta get these guys out of here. I don't want them coming into this fight. Oh boy. Perfect. Alright, let's get some poisons back up. 35%. So you can see they're kind of like, you know, mini raid bosses almost, or mini dungeon bosses. Get my stun on. I'm certainly having an easier time of it than my Patriot here. My compatriot. My Patriot. Yes, he's a Patriot. I'll work my way in so I can get that stun. And get out of there. Now I know the quests for these, you have to kill 5, so I'm pretty sure this guy's gonna be a little bit not happy because I'm not staying here for 5. I just wanted to show you a BAM. Ah, I didn't get the stun off. Goodbye. And gonna leave the group here before this turns into anything. But there you go. So there's your tour of Tera, free to play on February 5th. We've covered just about everything. If you're a founder, great. If you're gonna sub, great. Jump in, have some fun. If you enjoyed Raiders, you probably enjoy Tera. The combat takes a little bit of getting used to if you've never played it before. Questing, pretty standard, so no surprises there. Dungeons and raids and things like that. Again, pretty standard mechanics, Trinity system, stuff like that. You'll have fun. It's a pretty game. I enjoy it. For free, you really can't go wrong. If you don't like the game, fine. If you enjoy the game or you think you might, there's no reason not to try it. I will warn you, The one thing I really, really hate, I mean, there's a bunch of little things that I don't like about every game, and Tera certainly has those, but there is one thing I really, really hate about Tera, and new players need to be aware of it. The download file is huge. If you download it from their site. You're going to need a lot of free space to get that file in there. And two, the patcher is not the best patcher in the world. NMOS really needs to work on that. It can, in some areas and at certain times, take quite a bit of time to actually download and patch the game to get it up and running. So be warned. Magic Man warned you. Until next time, gang, I hope you like this first look. We didn't go to Noob Island at all. We killed a BAM. We had some fun. And checking out Tera, if you want to hit me, I'm on Tempest Reach. You can see my character's name right here. Until next time, gang, stay safe. And I'll see you on the Tera servers.